Chico Resch. You are listening to the Let's Go Devils podcast on the Primetime Radio Network.
Happy Devils Saturday. This is the Woo Report. The Woo Report, episode 217. I'm your host, Sam Woo, coming to you live from the Primetime Radio Studios, as we're streaming live on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Twitter Live, and Twitch on the Let's Go Devils Network. Hello, everybody. What a night last night. Doing a Woo Report, then doing breaking news at midnight. Lots of people tuning in. But now it's been about 24 hours since the Matthew Tkachuk trade. And a lot of us Devils fans thought it was pretty insane what the Florida Panthers have done in the past 6 months with their team, or really the past, March, April, May, June, July. The last 4 months has been insane. And it should be noted that Tom Fitzgerald did not partake in a bidding war of just insanity. Because what the Florida Panthers gave up, it was a lot. It was a lot. But if you combine that, what the Florida Panthers have done in the past 24 hours with the last NHL trade deadline, that is insanity. And I thought it was a little strange how the Panthers moved their 2025 first round pick to Calgary. And I thought to myself, why 2025? Was that just a random number? Like, yeah, we'll just kick the can down the road. Maybe our fans won't notice. Maybe Matthew Tkachuk is going to be the league MVP, Hart Trophy winner, take us to the promised land, bring a Stanley Cup to South Florida. And then you started to look at it. How insane. So, in essence, for Matthew Tkachuk and 20 games of Claude Giroux and Ben Chariot, the Panthers basically traded Jonathan Huberdeau, Mackenzie Weegar, former top 10 pick in Owen Tippett, a first-round pick in 2023, a first-round pick in 2024, a first-round pick in 2025, a third-round pick in 2024, and 2 prospects. That is absolutely insane. And I'm glad Tom Fitzgerald probably was negotiating and sat back. That is just such a steep price. What the Florida Panthers have done. I don't know if it's they panicked. They've got a new coach in Paul Maurice. Very good coach. They let Andrew Burnett walk. Thank you very much. He's now on the Devils staff. But it's absolutely insane. And I want to get your opinions on YouTube Live, Facebook Live, Twitter Live. Happy Devil Saturday to Mike Rossi. Michael Pedrosa, he said, "What up, Woo? Well, what's up? It's a Saturday night. Shouldn't you be doing something fun?" I know I am. I'm podcasting, having some chicken quesadillas. Yeah, it's been a good night. But that is absolutely insane. And what the Florida Panthers did, that I hope the Devils never pull those kind of shenanigans like what the Florida Panthers did. I mean, they really went all in. I mean, I think they really overextended themselves. You're not going to feel it just yet, but when that pipeline dries up in about, I would say 5-10 years from now, with no first round draft picks, they're going to pay the price. Absolutely pay the price. And where does this leave the New Jersey Devils? Well, the Devils are going to stay course. They're going to sign their restricted free agents. Arbitration hearings scheduled. Vancouver Canucks fans think that the Devils are that desperate that they're going to offer JT Miller, thinking that they're going to get a nonsense deal like the Florida Panthers offered. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. And I can assure you that's not going to happen. If anything, Fitzgerald's just going to lowball Vancouver because they're over the cap as far as I'm concerned. It's called leverage, folks. Leverage. And through the madness of last night, I think the Calgary Flames, they had to appease their fans because this was really shock and awe that what has transpired in the last 3 weeks for that franchise. At least they can hold their heads high and say, look, we're still a competitive team. We're going to defend the Pacific. We're going to move forward. And we'll try to re-sign them. If not, well, you got a 2023 NHL free agent frenzy coming next July 1st in 2023. Michael Pedroza says, should we spend more of our cap space or hold on to it? I suggest you hold on to it. I don't think the Devils organization was ready to make a blockbuster trade like what happened last night. The difference between the Florida Panthers, aside by being so insane, is they were one of the top teams in the Eastern Conference. The Devils, they were the bottom of the barrel. It's not very convincing to get a restricted free agent to be traded over to where the Devils are. How Tom Fitzgerald convinced Dougie Hamilton is pretty amazing how he was able to pull that off. And he should be commended for it. Because Johnny Gaudreau kind of thumbed his nose, signs with Columbus. And it's good that at least we have Dougie Hamilton to say that, you know what, our team is capable of making a big splash. It's just got to be at the right situation, at the right time. And you want to spend your dollars wisely if you're going to commit a big contract like that. Corey says, let's stop the BS and talk Bedard. No, I think that's too early. It's anyone's guess how the Devils will perform this upcoming season. But it's all going to depend upon the goaltending, the defense, offense. I think it will progress. But it'll all come back to the defense. Because that goals against was horrible last year. Absolutely horrible. Undisciplined plays. Well, you got rid of Ty Smith. You got rid of Pavel Zacha. You signed Palat. You overpaid for Palat. But let's hopefully Palat will bring some of the things he learned in Tampa to New Jersey. Justin Cordero in the YouTube Live says, who won the trade in your opinion? I think the Devils did because they didn't overspend. Calgary gets 2 fine players for 1 year before they become unrestricted free agents. Are they going to try to sign them? I think Huberdeau is going to Montreal when it's all said and done. 100-point player for another 100-point player. And you know what's also insane? Did you hear about the contract details of Tkachuk's deal? It is $1 million per year for 8 years, and I think it was $68 million is in bonus. That's some pretty aggressive maneuvering, if you ask me. And Florida's all in. I'll give them that credit. I just think they're just insane. They're out of their mind. But winning solves everything. This is what we say here on the podcast. Winning does solve everything. And if the Panthers go out and win the Stanley Cup and thumb their nose at the Tampa Bay Lightning, their cross-state rival, it would be worth it for that franchise who has never seen a Stanley Cup but did have an appearance years ago. But that would be insane. But it should cause quite the commotion down in South Florida. And I think the fans will come out for this one to see how the new prized player, how he does. Geeky Gamer Family says the Devils could not complete with that offer. They would have offered more futures-based package. I'm glad they didn't even beat that offer. Well, Calgary was not interested in rebuilding. I tweeted that out early this morning. They weren't interested in rebuilding. So the Devils' assets, although tempting, did not apply to the Calgary Flames. All the pundits, all the experts said that Calgary is going to be rebuilding. New Jersey's got the assets. New Jersey has the cap space. New Jersey. But as equally as insane as the Florida Panthers were for giving up those kind of players, Calgary, they have their mindset that they're going to not only not rebuild, they're going to reload for that matter. And you know what? Maybe a Daryl Sutter team, maybe he got the players that he kind of wants. He has a Stanley Cup winning track record. You know, it's what they say in that movie Miracle. It's not the best players, it's the right ones. Maybe Calgary they're pushing the right buttons right now. Doing pretty well, all things considering. They lost like 2 marquee players on their roster. But the Devils, I mean, like I tweeted out a few days ago, were you willing to trade Nico Hischier to the Flames? And a lot of Devils fans, and rightfully so, said, no, are you insane? You shouldn't even ask this question. But it turns out that not even Nico Hischier could have made that trade. Because Nico Hischier, compared to Huberdeau, although different positions, he's a 100-point player, Huberdeau. Hischier's not. He's a different type of player. Would Calgary want a Nico Hischier in return if the Devils offered it to them? But what happened last night was insane. Absolutely insane. They're mad. They've gone mad, the Florida Panthers. And Geeky Gamer family wonders if Severson starts the season in New Jersey. Well, you know what? They may be talking. They may be not. I don't know. Benny says, I live in South Florida, work in Sunrise. Didn't hear any rumors about this move coming. They lost a great leader in Hubie. Agreed. Douglas Walker says, if Calgary doesn't re-sign these players, that this is a completely disastrous trade. I've said this before. Even if they didn't re-sign both of them, you know what? They weren't probably going to. Well, they weren't going to re-sign Tkachuk. So what are you going to do? What I say is, I think it's more of a strategy in Calgary where, okay, we calm the madness because upset fans are losing their two marquee players. What we got in return for that trade, he wasn't going to be here anyway. That's a nice consolation prize. And you still have Blake Coleman. It's still a relatively good team, the Calgary Flames. And they've got some defense as well. But I think the Calgary Flames will be just fine next season. What they do afterwards, well, they got some of a 2025 draft pick out of it. Who knows? Could Florida falter by 2025 and that pick be valuable to the Calgary Flames? It's a steep price. But Florida's risking it all. As insane as it is, I do admire that because they want to win and they want to win now. But I'll tell you, that's a lot to give up. Because I heard that Huberdeau was expecting contract extension talks. But this was just like, wow. Hit you with a ton of bricks. Let's see. Douglas Walker says, I wouldn't have made that trade unless those players coming to Calgary re-signed. Ahead of it, it doesn't make any sense to trade away one RFA for two unrestricted free agents. Fair point. And this is, this is good that we're having discussion here on a Saturday night. Benny says, Woo, do you think the Devs go after JT Miller next? I don't think the Devils are going to go after JT Miller. I think the Vancouver Canucks are going to hand over JT Miller. Because Tom Fitzgerald is not desperate here. I'm not saying the team is complete, but it's the discipline of Fitzgerald where he did get aggressive. He lost out in the Giroux sweepstakes. The Tkachuk, he never had a chance because that's insane. If anything, Tom Fitzgerald jacked up the price. Jim Leahy says on the YouTube Live, fans aren't mad at Fitzy not getting Tkachuk. We couldn't compete with Florida's offer. Fans are mad that we were linked to 5 different star wingers and didn't come away with one. Well, this is what I have to say to that. If it's not there, it's not there. But the Devils did come away with the top prize defenseman in free agency last year. Sometimes these things don't work out. I'm not saying Tom Fitzgerald is the greatest GM in the NHL. But what I can say is he's not making mistakes that really hurt the team, and it allows the team to progress in the right direction. There were good things coming out of last season. There were periods throughout the season where the Devils did play pretty well, but they weren't able to sustain it. And this is one of the youngest or the youngest team in the NHL. It's going to take time, people. Young players need time to develop. And you bet that once the Devils players have developed, this team's going to look much, much better. And I have a feeling that the goaltending, I'm not sold on Vitek Vanacek. I'm not sold on the fact that Mackenzie Blackwood is going to make one of the greatest comebacks of all time. He's going to be a Masterson Trophy, winner. No, I'm just exaggerating there. But fans shouldn't be mad at Tom Fitzgerald. They can be frustrated, but not mad at Tom Fitzgerald, because what more could he have done, especially with the Tkachuk? Gaudreau, well, that guy's a whack job, if you ask me. Oh, I want to be closer to home, but don't get too close to me, best friend in high school. What's that supposed to mean? But to each their own. I'm not going to judge. So here we have it. Saturday night, July 23rd. Talking Devils hockey on the Woo Report. Thank you for all coming out. Yes, you forgot about Tatar and Andreas Johnson, says Doug. Well, both are on a contract year. Hopefully they'll perform. Hopefully the Devils start winning. Hopefully they start turning things around. I want to thank all those tuning in. It's going to be a little bit of a shorter podcast today. I think I talked too much. Jim Leahy says, I'm not personally mad. DeBrincat is the only winger I'm upset we didn't get because of the return. Love the Marino trade. You know what? Let things play out, folks. Just never know what may happen. I don't think Fitzy's done yet. But right now he's got to sign his restricted free agents. Thank you all those for watching, listening. You can find our podcasts on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeart app, Audible, Amazon Music Prime, wherever you get your podcasts. And thank you for making us one of the top 25 hockey podcasts in the United States with Apple Podcasts. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, tomorrow, Sunday edition of the Let's Go Devils podcast at 9 p.m. Eastern. We're going to talk about what's going on the past week. We'll see you there. Keep it real. Till next time, this is the Woo Report. Let's go Devils.